Congratulations, you've made it to the last activity that we're going to do with just when we're working with just straight slope. Now, the last activity is finding a missing coordinate when you're given the slope and a coordinate. So if you take a look at the top of the screen, you'll see up here I have the coordinate 1, 4, comma, -1, r, and m equals 2. So r is the missing coordinate piece. M is what? Yes, m is your slope. And our slope is 2 here. Now, I want to remind you when you see a plain integer like this, what number is actually written underneath the 2, but we haven't written it there. That's correct. That 2 is the same as 2 over 1. And when working with slope, we'll need both numbers, the 2 and over 1. So if I'm doing a problem like this, I've been given this coordinate, told to figure out where it crosses -1 and some number, and I have to have a slope of 2. All right, so you want to make an XY axis like I've made here on this paper on my screen here. And the first thing is I'm just going to plot the point that I know. So the advantage is I have a point right here, 1, 4. I go count 1 and up 4, and I make my dot. And I'm going to make a new dot because I don't like that dot right now. I want a clean dot, so we're going to make a new dot. All right, so I'm going to count over 1 and up 4. There, that's much better. So I have a dot there at 1, 4. Now my slope is 2, so it's up 2 over 1. So I will use that slope to plot another point or two. Up 2 over 1, and I plot the point. Up 2 over 1, plot the point. Now let's take a look. The other coordinate, where the number is missing, where I see r, what number do you see at the start of it? Yes, the number there is -1. Where is -1 on the x-axis? Why is that an x-axis? Because this is the first number in the coordinate. First number is x, second number is y. So in my coordinate here, I am looking to see where, if I keep doing these dots, where would it cross the x, where x equals -1? Well, -1 is right here. 0 here, -1 there. All right. So let me erase that. Let me clean that up. So we have -1 is right here. That's -1 right there. Okay. So looking at my dots, do my dots hit anything over here in -1? No, they don't. So now I have to go back the other way. I'm going to have to draw these dots instead of my slope says go up 2 over 1. Well, now I have to draw dots down here that follow the line. So if I follow this line, instead of going up 2, let's say I go from the top dot back to this one, so I can go backwards. How does that move? It goes down 2 and left 1, down 2 and left 1. So now I have to do the same movement to start moving towards -1. Down 2, left 1, dot. Down 2, left 1, dot. Notice now I have a dot on where the line for x is -1. And I ask myself, what is the coordinate for that spot? The coordinate is -1. And since I'm on the x-axis, the number there is, that's right, it's 0. So then I have the coordinate there of -1, 0. So what is my missing number up here for r? I say r equals 0. Okay, take a look at that. Why don't you pause the video and take a look at that. Okay, thanks for pausing the video. We'll do another example together here. Let's take a look at this one. Now I'm given the point 6, 3. I'm given r comma 2 and m equals 1/2. So let's take a look here. I have 6, 3. So you need to make an XY axis on your paper, on your graph paper. 6, 3, dot. My slope here is positive 1/2, 1 over 2. So I need to go to plot points. I have to go up 1 over 2, dot. Up 1 over 2, dot. Let's look at our coordinate here. our coordinates that we're trying to find says r comma 2. So x is here, y is here. So I'm looking for when is the y value equal to 2. So when would this line cross where y equals 2? Y equals 2 is here's 1, here's 2. So where does y equal 2? It's on this line. So I have to find out when will this cross the line where y equals 2. That's what my coordinate up here tells me. Find the x number when I have this line hitting where y equals 2. So let's go backwards. All right, so backwards, down 1, left 2, down 1, left 2. Let's go backwards from here. Down 1, left 2. And notice now I am on the line where y equals 2. What is the coordinate here for this? Because that's going to tell me the missing number for r. So I have, what is this coordinate? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 4, 2. So what is r equal here? My missing number there, r equals 4. R equals 4. All right, so let's go back and look for a second. On this one, I was given 1, 4. I started by plotting 1, 4. So I plotted 1, 4 right here. I was given a slope of 2. So I counted up 2, right 1, put a dot to get my line started. Went up 2, right 1 to get another dot to get my line started. And I took a look at my next coordinate now and said, okay, here's my line. Where's the missing piece? The missing piece, I have negative 1r. This one is missing a y number. That means I have to find where does this line cross where x equals negative 1. And I wrote that, hey, x equals negative 1, that line's right here. So that's this right here, this up and down line. So instead of going up 2, right 1, I went backwards because I have to go backwards from where I'm at to get over to negative 1. So we'll go backwards. We counted down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1, and put a dot, down 2, right 1, and put a dot. And I noticed that since I had labeled where x was negative 1, this dot is on where x is negative 1. And I said, well, what's the y number for this spot? The y number is 0 because it is on the x-axis. And I said, then my missing number is 0. That's for when we're missing a y number. When we're missing an x number, that was the second one. Let's review this one now. We started with 6, 3. So I counted over 6, and I went up 3, and I made this dot right here. I then said my slope is 1/2. And I counted up 1, right 2, and I made this dot. And up 1 and right 2, and I made this dot. And I asked, what is the in my coordinate now, what's missing? It's an x that's missing. I was given y. Y was 2. So on the y-axis, I wrote down, all right, 2. I have to find myself, this is where y equals 2 is this line. And since y equals 2 is below the dots I've drawn, I have to go backwards again. So instead, I have to go down 1, left 2, down 1, left 2, down 1, left 2. And I put this dot on there. And by putting that dot on there, I realized, hey, I was now where y equals 2. What is the value of x? Value, I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, and said the coordinate here is 4, 2. That means the missing number is 4. So r equals 4. Okay, if you have any questions, be sure to ask them as you're working. Here's the assignment. You do need to write this down, please. Please write that down in your notebook so you know what you need to do. It's 6 problems. It's right out of your textbook. Please make sure that you use graph paper when you do that. If you don't have any graph paper, be sure that you grab some from off the shelf over by my window. You need graph paper for this. It's essential that you are graphing this correctly. Do not use notebook paper. Use graph paper. Okay, thanks. You can stop the video at any time. And we'll get to work on this last idea when we're using slope.